Hi, this is Junaid, neurocritical care stroke and epilepsy specialist. Wow, we have basically came to an end right now because we discussed 3D printing last time, and we're going to now discuss orbital and aerospace. Um, it is so important, orbital and aerospace, that I didn't personally realize before actually looking at this as an important aspect of it. Everything, mobile connectivity, hypersonic flights, and the most important thing, in my opinion, is satellite broadband. And I'm going to mainly focus on that. Digital transformation of anything depends on having internet access. Internet access, especially high speed broadband, is extremely crucial for any country, especially countries in the emerging countries like Pakistan, India, Philippines, Nigeria, Senegal, whatever. These are countries that cannot have broadband infrastructure, which is highly expensive. Satellite broadband will be the way to digitally transform these countries, as they will be able to quickly expand through a wireless system as compared to digging through tunnels and laying down expensive fiber optics and then maintaining them and repairing them. It's a huge hassle. And satellite broadband will be the way to actually produce internet to millions of people. It might still be expensive, but the idea is that you could still have significant amount of digital transformation that can happen in high growth industries like healthcare. So we are developing reusable rockets. Of course, Tesla has been one of the key areas, not Tesla actually, SpaceX, which is the sister company of Tesla, has been doing that. And you can see that historically, rocket launches have been extremely expensive. And as you can see that the overall low orbit rocket launching costs have been decreasing as we go along. Literally, if you can see that was 2016, this was this, and now we are actually having rapid model forecast is going to be even lower, and then this is currently at model Falcon 9. So reusable rockets are extremely important to bring this as a mass market. And again, SpaceX has been really good at doing this, and it's continuously decreasing the cost as it goes. Lower satellite launch costs should enable continuous global coverage with low latency. Now, low latency, I've talked about it before. If you haven't looked at my lectures before, we talked about Wi-Fi 6 and, of course, 5G and why it is important. It is not just about the throughput, it is about the low latency. And as we can go along, you can see that the low orbit is about 300 miles only, and therefore it can go into 400 milliseconds latency, which is much lower as compared to geo-orbital satellites, which are huge and they're far away, and therefore their latency is in 700 milliseconds. So literally, you're going to see that there's a completely different use case scenario that opens up because now you have low latency. And therefore, this is going to be so crucial for digital transformation. And I cannot stress enough, because I do know these countries like Pakistan, and that, I mean, honestly, I've not been even hiring people from Pakistan for certain jobs that require broadband because I know they won't be able to get it. And therefore, I would rather have people hired from Philippines or India, etc. So Vietnam, believe it or not, they have actually better internet. So what I'm saying is that this is so crucial, and this is one of those things that we're going to see that. Again, not just the launching of the satellite, actually antenna costs are going to drop as well. So literally, it's $500 right now, the Tesla satellite antenna, and I think it is actually being subsidized by Tesla as well. So antenna costs are going to come down as well. The number of orbital satellites being launched are ridiculously good. Look at this, 2005 to 2020. Look at this trajectory. They are projecting to launch about 100,000 already planned, right? So it's going to take multiple years, but I forget what the governing agency is. Maybe it's NASA or someone, that they are actually constantly have issued licenses to, launch these low orbit satellites. SpaceX launch costs decline constantly. So it is not that it used to cost $50,000 to put a gallon of water, which is sort of a way to exercise. Now it is going to be as low as 750. Huge cost decline. Again, we talked about this deflationary effect of disruptive technologies, and this is a clear example that the cost declines are going to continue to happen. um, Again, there's a right laws that they go into and everything, this is important. Satellite broadband only could generate 48 billion Now, this is a $1 trillion company by itself, which is the broadband portion of it. We're not talking about military satellites. We're not talking about other satellites, government satellites, etc. Right? I mean, those are completely different. Just these satellites by itself are actually $48 billion market, which about 600 million people annually can get broadband globally. This is huge. I mean, I think, of course, the RVs and location bots and commercial airlines and everything. Again, these numbers are mainly focused on developed economies, but as I said, in developing economies, this will be also important as well because again, people can travel to one center, but at least they have good internet access, and honestly, they can get jobs now. Um, this hypersonic flight and skyrocketing, and I'm just not interested at all. They're interested, but anyways, again, I'm so grateful that you stuck through the whole series. I hope you learned something. If you have any issues, questions, comments, please leave it down there. I'll be happy to address them, and I'll try to make a small sort of concentrated version of all these topics in the future if I can. Again, thank you.